the wife cannot have it all 100%, and the study cannot have it all 100%. You must both meet at a midpoint. There are lots of knowledge in the book, and for me to have those knowledge, then I have to read it. The first thing you need to do is to put aside the fear. Never ever set a limit for yourself. Tell yourself you can learn the language. I've seen a lot of Africans who speak the Chinese language as if they are Chinese.
To be with a man, you choose to be with him in good times, in bad times, in whatever condition you find yourself. So I feel when you love a man, you should be able to go extra miles for him. So if that's what he needs at that moment, true love is about sacrifice. So
Hello,
Hello.
viewers. I am Theophilus from Jauda.
And I'm Deborah from Shida.
Wow, what are we doing here?
We are here to meet LASA personality of this
Woo!
month.
And as you can see, we are just right there at the premises. So don't go anywhere. Catch you at the flip side.
Stay tuned and go nowhere.
Bye.
Nothing impossible with our God. You do not lie, you do not fail. What is hard for you to do, it doesn't exist yet. It can never ever exist. Oh. You do not lie, you do not.
A very good afternoon to all of you and our cherished viewers of LASA Personality of the Month. And welcome to the premiere edition of your favorite program. LASA Personality of the Month is a platform where we engage people who have been outstanding in every field of our specialties in one way or the other. And people who have studied LASA over the years, they've seen what we can do and what we've done, and can also tell us if we're doing well or not, and also give their opinions on the way forward. And my guest for today is a graduate of Lanzhou University of Technology and an IT specialist. He's also a son of the great land Nigeria, West Africa. I guess you know who I'm talking about. He goes by the name Mr. Christian Idemudia. Hello, Mr. Christian. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's nice to be here with you. It's an honor to be the premier personality of the month for LASA, and I'm happy to see that LASA have grown this far and we have engaging programs like this. So it's nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we also have another special guest, the wife of the personality of this month. Hello.
hi. I'm so happy to be here, okay? My name is Jennifer Idemudia. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mrs. Idemudia Jennifer, right?
Thank you.
She's so beautiful, can't you see? Well, okay, so let's go into today's program. So, Mr. Christian Idemudia, when you hear about LASA, like, what can you say about LASA? I mean, you've been with us for the past years. You've been with LASA, you stood with LASA, like, you've been there through thick and thin, and you've always known what happened, what we've really done so far. So, what can you say about LASA?
Yeah, when I hear about LASA, what comes to my mind is a training ground for sons and daughters of Africa to prepare themselves for impact and to prepare for leadership and for coexistence when they return back to Africa. So LASA in Lanzhou is just like a camp to train Africans, and then there's the part of we are away from home and we need a platform that can bring us together. We need to interact, and we need a platform that can help us relive the moment of our current community. So LASA is just like a hub for Africans to thrive in Lanzhou.
Wow, thank you. Well, you've really spoken greatly about this LASA. I mean, it's really a great thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so our next question is what inspires you in life? What exactly is your inspiration?
Yeah, that's a great question. My inspiration comes from my family. That's first, and it's very, very important to me. So I'm inspired by the intention or the motivation to be there for my family and to see them happy or to make them happy. And secondly is the to serve mankind, to make people thrive by their potentials, or to help people discover themselves and be the best they can be. So those are my two greatest inspiration.
Wow, so family and
And
mankind
service.
and
Yeah.
service. Wow, that's very good. That's a great inspiration from Mr. Christian. So talking about your career, like you're into this IT stuff, right? So like what's really inspired? Okay, now you've talked about the general inspiration. Like what really inspired you to go into IT? What got you into doing this IT thing?
Yeah, it may sound a little bit funny. I When I was growing up, I think if I was asked what I wanted to become, I would say I would have loved to become a medical doctor. But something happened while I was in my College of Education. I did a course, it was a mathematics course, but in that course, we were asked to write a basic Pascal program that was to add numbers together and get the average. So after I did that, I was intrigued by the fact that I could use computer to pass instructions, and then the computer was going to give me the result. So I became so interested in computing, and that has been how I ventured into computer science. My BSc was in computer science, and the world of computer science is really, 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 really interesting. You telling the computer something, and then it gives you results. You face problems, you have to think about resolving it. So that has just been what led me into computer science. Instructing the computer to give you an output is what inspires me with IT.
Wow, and you've really been doing great, I must say, like when it comes to this IT.
Thank
Well,
you.
okay, so our next question goes thus. We all know that you're a family man. Like me, we have this beautiful wife with us here.
Yeah.
So, being a student and also a husband to a beautiful wife, like how do you get to cope to like merge these two responsibilities together?
Yeah, I've always heard people say it's not easy to have a family and to still be schooling. A lot of people talk about it. I think there's truth in it. There's truth, but it boils down to it boils down to everybody trying to understand what should happen at a particular time. Why am I saying that? Is the fact that the wife cannot have it all 100%, and the study cannot have it all 100%. You must both meet at a midpoint. So both parties need to understand. If it's the woman that is into schooling, the man needs to understand that there are times the woman would have to be there for her studies, and then just vice versa. So there have been days I've stayed on my computer for hours. She just have to understand that it needs to be away for some time. And then for me, I need to also understand that while I'm on my computer or my study for some time, I need to cut there should be a break point where I should know that I have a wife, and then I need to attend to her needs. So it's all about creating a midpoint for your studies and for your family. So if you're able to create a midpoint successfully, then everything will go fine.
Wow, that was very great. I've been inspired to get married. Okay, I think we've come to the end of the first section of our program for today. Stay tuned while we have this short break.
Our
We'll be right back.
God, you do not lie, you do not fail. What is hard for you to do? It doesn't exist yet. It can never ever exist. Oh.
Welcome back to your favorite program, LASA Personality of the Month. So we'll be talking to our own very Mr. Christian Idemudia. He has been our very special person in this LASA organization and also an IT specialist. So, Mr. Christian, talking about LASA, what are the programs that you've personally pioneered, or maybe with a group of people, or maybe personal things you've done for LASA? Please, can you tell us?
Yeah, that's a very big question. But I would not say personally pioneered. I would like to use the word I've collaborated with others to float for LASA. I will start with the online election platform that we did. I think the last two elections that LASA have conducted We've conducted it online, and that has been I've been part of it, working with others. And also, we've also had currently we just had the photo contest that is ongoing, and I think I've also played a role with that. And there are the media group of LASA also. I've also worked with others on that committee to see that we do something that is of great importance to LASA. So I think those are the hallmark that of some activities, or let me say programs, that have actually um, assisted in floating for LASA. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. Thank you very much for your service rendered to LASA. Okay, as we all know that you are a great reader of books. We all know that he loves reading books, and not only reading books, he has inspired a lot of people into reading of books. So we'd like to ask you, Mr. Christian, what exactly motivated you into reading?
Yeah, reading motivation. Sometimes in life, as an individual, there should be something, there should be a record you want to break or something. So there's an adage that people normally say: if you want to hide something from an African, or let me use the word in quote, black man, you put it in a book. That was an adage I wanted to prove wrong. So I wanted to see if that would be true. And is it that black people can read or whatsoever? So I've come to know that blacks can read. Although there's the challenge of reading is not easy. It's not easy. So a lot of people would not want to take to reading. And coming from our locality, that adage is not truly right. We have a lot of black men or women who are great readers. But a large population, like they want to say, maybe the Western want to say Africans don't read or whatsoever, it's just a sample size of the total black man. So reading motivation is all about me trying to discover something for myself. There are lots of knowledge in the book, and for me to have those knowledge, then I have to read it. And that is what has been keeping me going and reading. And I've come to see that my people say in the parable that if one man is rich in a society, everybody is still poor, because that one man will not be able to attend to the needs of everybody. So that is why I've extended the reading habit. I want to extend it to a lot of people to also have that same habit, that everybody can be reading. And I will not be the only person to read a book and say, oh, in this book, there's this, there's that, there's this. No. If everybody reads it, then everybody would know what the book is saying. So I personally feel Africans can read. There are a lot of Africans who are reading, even on the platform I float, and we can have more coming to read. They just have to find their reason for reading. And once they get that, they can read.
Wow, thanks for that encouragement. Yeah, you've really inspired me to read more. Okay, so the next question is about students outside China mainland who really want to come to China to study, but they always have this kind of number one challenge: Chinese is difficult. So, is there anything you want to tell these people to inspire them, to motivate them, to let them know that yes, it's not really what they think. That people are here who also never knew how to speak Chinese, but they came here and within a year they're very good in communicating in this language that they think seems to be very difficult. So can you tell us what you can tell them, to inspire them to come?
Okay. Truly, there's the fear that when I come, how will I be able to speak the language, the Chinese language? And that fear is there. But I would want to say that when you are coming, put aside that fear. Fear, like they say, is false evidence appearing real. If you nurture it, then it's going to become a reality. I think it imparted in me because I had a lot of fear, and that had a way of trying to mold my thinking and my thought and my abilities and potential towards learning the language. So the first thing you need to do is to put aside the fear. Never ever set a limit for yourself. Tell yourself you can learn the language. I've seen a lot of Africans who speak the Chinese language as if they are Chinese. This is because they told themselves they can do it. Then the second thing I read in a book, I think it was Principles No, it was what makes the great great. It says that when you want to learn a language, there was a scenario of somebody who wanted to learn the language of the people. He said you must mix with the people. So if you come, be ready to mix with the people. When I say mix with the people, I mean be ready to communicate with the locals. I had a disadvantage in that area. I was not too ready to communicate with the people. Maybe I was too focused on wanting to study or whatsoever, and that limited how much I could speak the language. But if you are coming, if you are ready to mix with the people, communicate with them, then you will do great with the language. The language can be learned by anybody, not just Chinese. It's not for Chinese alone. Anybody who is ready to learn and to integrate would learn the language perfectly well. So there's no need to be afraid or scared.
Okay, as you've heard from Mr. Christian, don't be scared. Okay? Don't be scared, just come. Come like a giant and come learn. Okay, so now we've already gone away from your career and things about you. So moving now to your marital life. Yeah. Moving now to your marital life. Some people say a woman who is mentally matured, who is also a problem solver, and also someone who can actually relieve your mood. Like when you're moody and you just say, oh, you're relieved. So, what do you like? What do you say about that? Like, those are the kinds of women that you need to marry, isn't it? Like, you need to have people who inspire you the more. Are these assertions right? And what's your conclusion on this?
Okay, I love when you use the word assertions. Yeah, good, because people would not everybody will agree to that fact. But I want to say they are right. You must go for somebody who inspires you. That is one of the bedrock for a successful marriage. If you marry somebody who does not inspire you, there's going to be a lot of problems. One of the reasons I married my wife was because I'm not a good dancer. Yeah, I don't dance and I'm not a good singer. And I needed somebody who will complement that part of me. I needed somebody who would teach my kids how to dance, because I know me not being able to dance is somehow in this world today. So I needed somebody who will inspire me, that if maybe somebody tells me, hey, you don't know how to dance, and then I'll call my wife, okay, come and dance for us. You understand? So I agree with the fact. Go for somebody that inspires you. Go for somebody that inspires you. And when you see somebody who inspires you, then you must help that person develop better. So why everybody would want whatsoever they want in a woman or in a man, the key word should be go for somebody who inspires you to be better off and to become better. That's it.
Wow, so you go for someone who is much better than you. Great. And we actually have the person here with us. Okay, now we are done with our personality of the month. But before we go, we have to ask some questions from the special person, the second special person, and that's the wife of the LASA personality of the month, Mrs. Jennifer Idemudia.
Hi.
Hi. So, we would like to ask you one question, not like some questions.
Okay.
So, the first one goes this: how long have you been in China, like with your husband?
I came to China 2018. So it's about 2 years and 3 months around that time. So I've been in China for 2 years and 3 months now.
Okay, so you've been with us for long then.
Yeah.
Wow,
2 years is a
that's
long time.
that's really great. So how does it feel to be with your husband? Being with your husband in this foreign land.
Trust me, he knows I cannot stay alone. He knows that I actually would not appreciate it if I'm not with him. So I feel it's good that we are here together, and I would say it's been great all this while. Been here, been married, been focused, and all that. So it's been great, and I am grateful to Heavenly Father for that privilege. It's not easy, but it's a great honor to be with my husband.
Wow, we always thank God for everything. Yeah, in everything, give thanks. Yeah. So going to the next one. As a wife with a husband in a foreign land and not a student under scholarship, like how do you cope with this?
Well, I must say it's not easy. Not being able to work and not schooling, it hasn't been very easy, but just stay strong. We know the goal and we know the purpose and everything, so we just have to stay focused on it. So that's the most important thing right now. So I know with all my heart that it's not going to be forever, it's just for a while. When we relocate or something, it will get better, and I know within myself that definitely things will change and it can only get better. So it's just for a short while. As a wife, I should be with my husband in good times, in bad times, in whatever condition. So that's what I can say. So it has had some moments of good and bad. Sometimes where you feel like you need to do something, but in all, I am grateful, and it's been a privilege, and it's not easy, and I think I'm happy. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, being happy is good. But in addition to what you just said, you said to do some things. Can you tell us one of those things?
To hustle now, get money, and sometimes you just also want to be in a school environment whereby you can get knowledge. But at the same time, personally, I do my own online studies, so it's not like I'm totally idle. So I get to do some online courses, get some certificate online. So it's also a great thing for me. So the technology here, the Wi-Fi, I make good use of it.
Okay, thank you very much. So before we come to an end of our program for today, we'd like to ask you one last question. Okay. And this question is for those ladies, those married women who are in their homelands but their husbands are abroad for one thing or the other. What do you have to tell them?
Well, I have to be honest, it's not going to be an easy journey for them. But when you choose to be with a man, you choose to be with him in good times, in bad times, in whatever condition you find yourself. So I feel when you love a man, you should be able to go extra miles for him. So if that's what he needs at that moment, true love is about sacrifice. So you should be able to do that. Personally, I would say stay strong and don't give up. It can only get better. It will only get better. With time, things would improve and you have the privilege to be with your husband. Thank you.
Thank you very much from Mr. Christian and Mrs. Jennifer.
Thank you very much.
So we've come to the end of our program for today. I'm sorry this is how far the time can permit us. And want to say a very big thank you once again to our personality of the month of August, Mr. Christian,
Thank you very much for having me.
and also his wife, Mrs. Jennifer.
I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you.
And we are also grateful to have you in our midst. And I hope that we can meet later in future. Don't forget to like and drop your comments. See you guys and bye.
All right, viewers, I hope you really enjoyed our interview for today.
Don't forget to like and comment. I remain your hostess, Miss Deborah.
And I am Chief Loss Amano. Until we meet again, see you.
And have a good day.
What is
Bye.
hard to do? It doesn't exist, oh. It can never ever exist, oh.